Hey everybody, it's free to play Bust kicking off expedition number 192. Sometimes you kick off the run a little bit too early and the new patch isn't out yet. Oh, it is updated. Oh, beautiful. I clicked on this earlier and I saw Ezreal and Lucian in here and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. These two just got changes in the new patch and then I clicked on it and Ezreal was at 10 and Lucian didn't have his clarification yet, and so I was a little sad. But apparently, not picking anything doesn't lock you out, so that's pretty cool. Nonetheless, here I think I kind of want to play around with this Ezreal. Um, he is a bit different now. He flips with 6 targets instead of 8 or 10, whatever you're used to remembering. But now with the spells, if you just cast a spell, he does 1 damage. If you targeted something, he does 2 damage. And so it's a little bit worse when you're just chaining off a bunch of puff caps, but it feels much more to being on theme as far as what Ezreal's trying to do, throwing a bunch of mystic shots at people's faces. So all in all, pretty cool. I don't really like this pack that Ezreal's starting in. Shady Character is a pretty terrible card. Crushbot's okay if we're able to get into like a real control-y kind of deck, but we're gonna look to build towards this Ezreal. If on your own were just looking to run towards 7, I would recommend the Lucian. His update in the new patch, it used to be he couldn't rally the turn that he flipped, and so I ran into that issue dozens of times where I generate this big sequence of plays that involve flipping a Lucian and rallying in the same turn. That's possible now, and so he gets quite the boost here. This is also possible with Jinx. Jinx can now flip and then create a super mega death rocket in the same turn. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to just go for 7, I would recommend the solution. If Lee Sin is more along the lines of your thing, that's okay. I think this is weaker than Lucian, but stronger than Ezreal. But here, I know we haven't drafted Ezreal in ages, and now that he has this new set of abilities, I'm excited to try him out. So let's take a moment. I'll get this pulled up on the site, and we'll talk about it just a little bit more. Okay, and if you're not familiar with the site, it's ftpbus.com. It does have, I forget about the little search bar. If you're looking for like a specific Champions run or something, you can search for Zed and it should search it up and bring all of our past runs with Zed in it. I'm usually pretty good about putting both champion names in the title, and if not in the title, it should be down in the little description thing. So you should be able to search for, if you're wanting to run with Tarek and you aren't familiar with his archetypes, the 3-minute guide just isn't enough for you, then the search feature does work that way. But we'll be looking over here at the expedition helper. We're just going to go down to Ezreal. Try that again, Ezreal, and just a list of all the cards that are in this card pool. But in general, if we're looking to do a full Ezreal build around, there's 2 different ways to go about it. We'll pair this up with Bilgewater and try to use Make It Rain. Make It Rain does target, even though it does 3 random targets. And so it's not super intuitive, but it does tick up Ezreal very quickly. Otherwise, my preferred method of leveling Ezreal is with Freylord, where you have access to Frostbite Archer and Avarosian Marksman, Harsh Winds, all of the Frostbite cards, just tons and tons of ways to target and get this Ezreal flipped. Within his own pool here, you're supposed to just be kind of using removal spells. It blows my mind that True Shot Barrage is not a part of Death Door Ezreal, but it is not, and so you're really just kind of stuck with Mystic Shot, Static Shock, Thermogenic Beam is your way of getting your targets in. And then otherwise, Eager Apprentice is a very important early game card. Much like a lot of the Heimerdinger decks, we will be trying to pull off this Eager Apprentice on 2, and then finding whatever it's called, the 6-cost spell that makes a 5/5 unit. We will be looking to use that in our 6-drop spot and trying to play it on turn 3. So that's kind of the themes I like to go for here. We want to pair this with Bilgewater or Freylord. We're going to look for a lot of Eager Apprentices. We're going to look for some number of Unlicensed Innovation, and then we're going to try to pick up a big pile of removal spells. I don't really like trying to push towards the Assembly Bot theme. I think this is too high rolly. Also, don't really like pushing towards the puff cap peddler theme. This pool doesn't have access to the puff caps, and so just the peddler alone is not enough value to really go after it. But I mean, we're already off to a bad start. We're going to need some help starting out. Crushbot is fine in these slower, control-y kind of decks like we'll be putting together here. Shady Character I just do not like in this game, but is what it is. We're starting with this Ezreal, and we'll see how things pan out from here. Okay, all right. Well, I think we're probably just going to jump in on this first of the draw Twisted Fate. The thing that kind of worries me here is that we're just 100% units at this point. You know, we've got our Ezreal Twisted Fate, but then you know, units and units, and then units and units. You know, it's not really made any better outside of, you know, this Heimerdinger does have the apprentice we're looking for and the flash of brilliances, but I feel like we really need to be branching out of Piltover and trying to find either Bilgewater or trying to find Freylord. And so we found Bilgewater here. This is what we're going to end up taking. This Grift, man, this is like nothing we're wanting to do is coming out of this pack. Like I don't want this Allegiance card. We're just going to build towards Ezreal. We can kind of pull off the Beast Below. I think we just have to go back and take this Heimerdinger and then just hope. we got to just find some hope in the future. So let me pull up this Heimer. I think that's the way we're going to have to go about it. This is the Grand Moments one, and it does have the. Is it really not? There's unlicensed innovation. Okay, I was like, here's, you know, this other half of the thing we're trying to pull off. You know, we want to do this Eager Apprentice unlicensed innovation, so maybe we'll be able to pull this off at some point. This does have access to some of the removal spells we're looking for, and the Mystic Shot, Thermogenic Beam, and the True Shot Barrage is here. We're just going to have to kind of find some units is what we're probably going to have to do, unless we can specifically find Bilgewater or specifically find Freylord. We're going to have to, you know, figure out a way to actually win the game. We'll probably have to pivot into Heimerdinger, because that's PNZ's real way to make units is actually just through Heimer. But we'll see how this goes. I think this is kind of our requirement here. Oh, does this stony suppressor live here? Maybe I need to take a note and update this on the site. But you know, that's kind of my problem with this Ezreal Heimerdinger mix is there aren't any real units in these pools. The only real unit is the apprentice and the innovation. And so, you know, it covers all of the removal, has access to some card advantage if you can spike some epics, but the units in it are just horrible. And so we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we can kind of pivot this into. Hopefully, we'll just see a faction we want. Ooh, and here's a Bilgewater. Probably just gonna have to take this. These cards are terrible. Slotbot is just. I think Slotbot was particularly good before Call of the Mountain. Now with Hush and Sunburst being a thing, there's just so many silences to make him not as good. But I think this is where we're going to have to go. I really don't want to be getting out of this run without having access to either Bilgewater or Freylord. Let me see. Smash and Grab is it's a Twisted Fate deck. Let me see. I'm wanting to see if Twisted Fate, Smash and Grab. I was wanting to see if Make It Rain lives in here, and it does not. But this is our way to pick up Bilgewater. We're just going to have to kind of take it and hope. I think so. Let's go ahead and pick this one up. And Freylord. No, it did not happen that way. So interesting set. There is, of course, the pivot you could make to pick up a Neverglade Collector, which isn't the end of the world. This Terrace from the Deep Pool. I know that this doesn't have very many cards we actually want in it, though. This is the Maokai pool. Has like no removal, but it does have the Collector and the Blighted Caretaker in it. I'm leaning more towards this Mega Keg pool. Double up, giving us a way to target units, a good way to close out games. Jagged Butcher just being a good dude. But this is a pretty powerful set as well down here. My problem with taking the Black Market Merchants here is we're going to have a really tough time actually hitting plunders. Our units are so bad, it's tough for us to just win combats. And so I'm not really excited about this pool. It'd be pretty cool to pick up a salvage at some point. But as far as it goes here, I think we need to take the Butcher pack. Okay. All right. Well, we still do have we want to draft towards this Ezreal, but we do have to keep in mind that we can just pivot over to Heimerdinger, and that's what we may end up having to do. So we're going to take the Eager Apprentice Flash of Brilliance here. The Eager Apprentice plays towards both pools that we're looking to manage. Flash of Brilliance is kind of okay in Ezreal. I mean, we're never going to be sitting around closing out games with Flash of Brilliances and a flipped Ezreal, but it's it's a thing, something we can try to do. And so I want to take this and keep in mind that we're probably just going to be pushing towards Heimerdinger. Here, another great set. Heimer loves the Flash of Brilliances, and then our first unlicensed innovation. Just perfect. Good stuff. Okay. Well, if we're looking to target stuff, this is kind of our last chance to pick it up. I think we do want the Static Shock and the Shell Shocker. Just gives us some early game interaction, which we're happy to pick up. I think I usually just want like 3 Flash Brilliances. 4 is fine. Excuse me, I don't think we need to go out of our way to pick up this 4th one. If this was with a good card, then sure. It just Scrap Dash Assembly is too low quality. So I'm happy to pick up the Shell Shocker and the Static Shock. Okay, and here's our salvage. Cool. Another Shell Shocker, just such a great early game unit. I'm not real big on Unstable Voltician. Like, he's good, but we're not going to have any expensive spells. We do have the innovation, but it's, well, I guess that statement isn't wholly true. If we're able to pick up another innovation, I typically, want to be in a Lux deck if we're starting to include this guy. But nonetheless, the Shell Shocker salvage is what we're looking for here. Okay, what can we do with these? Kind of interested in the Benefactor Voltician. He is good. We do need some top end, especially in the early games where we only have one Heimerdinger. So this is a reasonable set. The Benefactor just being a decent card advantage card. Thinking more towards this Chempunk Shredder. I always love to have one Shredder in basically every Piltover deck. But I think we just kind of want the raw power here. If we had like maybe 2 or 3 innovations, then I think we could skip over things like the Voltician. But I think our top end is just too bad at this point, and we're still looking to have a bit of card advantage. So happy to pick that up. The thing we're really looking to pick up now is just like removal spells. We just haven't seen any removal whatsoever this run, which is kind of awkward. So here, I think we want the Coral Creatures Wave Rider. I'm not real interested in either of these Puff Cap cards down here. So if we're taking a Coral Creatures, I want the Wave Rider. The Trail of Evidence is only acceptable in the unlicensed Innovator, whatever the Hill Giant that draws cards for playing 2s is. So happy to pick these up. It's merciful. Can we use this? I doubt it. The Sump Dredger's too good with a gotcha. We have to just take these interactive cards down here. Okay, I had to check my counts up here. We can't play allegiance cards, so here's another gotcha with the Benefactor. I think this will be fine. Okay, and our first thermogenic beam. These things are picking up in the world a little bit here. Our curve is a little wonky, but we don't need a whole lot of early game if we're just going to be kind of a slow grindy deck building towards this Heimerdinger. Crushbot's a great unit at stalling the board, and then the beam, we have to have a beam. So this is good. We'll be happy to pick up 1 or 2 more beams if they want to make an appearance. Here, I think we just need another Shell Shocker and a gotcha. It sucks our removal is just gotchas, but it kind of is what it is. Okay, and then here to trade out a Crushbot for a Mystic Shot. I'm pretty okay with that. I would be happy with 0 of these. It does pretty much the same thing as Slotbot. It's not really important to our deck here, and Mystic Shot is just incredibly good. So, all right. All right. Well, we planned on building around you, Ezreal, but it just didn't come together. We made our picks based on that being a thing, and it just didn't pan out. Really? Oh man, hang on. I was wondering why my sound was messed up. You haven't been getting to hear those sweet game noises. That should be fixed now. Okay, and then this is a reasonable start. Oh man, we're getting all the mana ramp just to make sure we get our innovations down in time. Pretty good start. I think we should just go ahead and open. We're missing out on the potential for a couple damage here, but it's too easy for them to have a unit that they're willing to just get into combat with this thing. Okay, and then as you can see, we're all lined up to play our innovation on 3. Hopefully enough to shut down whatever combat he's trying to pull off here. Most certainly will. This is a pretty reasonable open. I have to assume that he's not going to attack with Mountain Goat. Well, he's certainly not attacking into Innovation, but he's probably not going to want to trade it for either of our 2/1s. Then if he has to spend a trick to win these combats next turn, we're pretty okay with that. Again, this seems like a good open.
Back, heretic.
No Pale Cascade? Nice. Very good for us.
I've gathered, now I give.
Uh-oh. I was gonna say it's either one or the other. And, one is just dead for quite a few turns. It was the other. But, okay, I mean he still probably doesn't want to attack with Callista into our contraption. So let's just get Slotbot on the board. We'll try to play Coral Creatures and then see what happens with this board. Probably nothing is what happens. Oh, interesting little pickup, you've been warned.
The treasure was in me the whole time.
Okay, we'll have to see what he does. I'm 100% just going to try to send the contraption into Callista. But also, if depending on what he plays, we do have what seems to be a pretty reasonable attack. This isn't something like, if we just attack with Benefactor into the White Flame Protector, it's pretty obvious that we're going to be doing something, right? But if we attack with everything into the White Flame Protector, it looks like we're just trying to push damage in, and I think we might be able to get the Protector in front of the Benefactor. It depends. If he adds like 5/5 Dragon here, then that really makes it look too suspicious. But interesting. Okay, I think we can still do it onto this board.
Excuse me?
And he's just never blocking with Callista, which is fine. He's going to lose his board and she's not going to be upgraded, which is pretty reasonable. Just getting nugged, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead and pop off this salvage. Alright, cool. Looks pretty good. We're going to be banked up enough to be able to Heimerdinger plus all these spells. And so, depending on what he does here, we can pretty much just throw away our whole board. Probably just hit Atrocity with this Flash of Brilliance anyways. That's the way we do things around here.
We were peaceful once.
Okay. Some gems somewhere? Sure, you got it.
I gotta get out of here!
And like, how much do we care about this Callista flipping? Like, I don't think we do. He's all tapped out, so we can just abuse this board the best we can. I think like we want to keep Slotbot, and then we can. So let's do this. We'll put Slotbot here, and we just want these other things to die.
Why are you here?
Okay, so then I think we want to Static Shock we're going to lose that. The sad thing, we do lose that on the unit if we try to make a static shock play here. But I think if we can still do everything right. No, we can't. All right, we'll just leave you behind. Okay.
Death to all betrayers!
What seems to be the problem?
Okay. Let's see if we get anything bonkers off of these flashes. We'll probably just get an atrocity that'll win the game, right? That's the way it's supposed to go. Double up's kind of interesting.
And fire! Yes, yes, again!
And this should cause this thing to die in combat if he tries to block with it next turn. Okay. Easy game.
Calculated!
Come on, bud. Yeah, you missed a game. It's alright, we got our teammate now. We're good to take this run the distance. Okay, and then this is what the Ezreals are supposed to be looking like. This gold card target. Yeah, deal 2 to the strongest enemy. No. Okay. And so I think we just have to continue down this Heimerdinger path. It would be nice, the idea was to just build around Ezreal. Maybe we can. How many targets do we even have? Like 1, 2. Let's target enemy. Oh no, we can't. 5, 6, 7 if we count the 2 from this. 8 with double up. That would give us 9, 10, 11. No, we just can't do. We can't do that. We have to draw half of our deck just to even get close. And so, all right, I guess it's official. We're making Heimerdinger our champion to be this run. Maybe we'll get to flipping Ezreal at some point. We'll flash a brilliance at True Shot Barrage, and that's how we'll get our Ezreal flipped. But okay, we're gonna against a Zed Teemo. You have to assume that they're just playing. I would assume that he's playing Zeds, right? But we have to hard mulligan for removal. It's too easy to just die to Zed if we don't have removals, and so the static shock at least covers the what happens if he has a turn 1 Teemo. Okay, cool. We got all our bases covered now. But that's just kind of one of the easiest ways to just straight up lose an expedition is to have just to get Zed. So.
Closing in on the mark.
Okay. And then, unlike the previous game, our opponent's not going to be playing any Solari soldiers on 2 just to shut down our attacks. So I don't think we have to skip out on opening here. I think we're good to add the apprentice. It's a good chance he won't play something that interacts well with our units. He didn't. We get good attacks here. If he wants to trade, we're fine. If he wants to take damage, we're fine.
This one's trouble.
Yep. This is much better for us than it is for him. Still not sure if we think he's going to be a Zed deck. He did play the puff cap generator, which makes it feel like Teemo, but if there's a Zed around, I prefer to just be playing Zed. That's the way these things go. Let's go ahead and gotcha this. Don't want to lose out on our spell mana with the coral creatures.
Warden Town. So pretty.
Damage. We don't have a lot of ways to take advantage of that, but it's a very powerful pickup. Okay, so we can't play the apprentice and Ezreal, so
Big place. Let's see all of it.
get our one choice.
Ooh,
I think,
gotta hurt.
you know, there is some argument in just not playing this Mystic Shot. Oh, he's just going to add dudes to the board? Okay. I suspect he's probably going to follow up with something better than this. So are we good to pass and just let this go? Like, if his play is Zed? I think we are. We don't have an answer to Zed anyways. So let's just go ahead and pop this thing. Like, I understand that this is what's happening here. This is the bait unit, and he's going to play the real unit next. But I don't think we gain anything by just passing, right? He's just going to play this Zed at the start of next turn, and we're just not going to have anything different we can do about it.
Why are you here?
I am the shadow.
Okay, we do have all these units he's not going to want to run into. So let's do this. Let's play the Apprentice. Let's play the Slot Bot. I don't really want to drop the Voltician here. Then we should have a pretty big open next turn.
There was a little fella asking for me.
Take me for a spin. Ha ha.
Okay.
A winner is you.
It's not bragging if you can back it up. I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
I am a true master.
Okay. Don't even really have to Vault Breaker, but I think with this rummage in our hand, it makes me a little more interested in just trying to pop that off.
There they go.
Sure.
Beauty charms while claws take hold.
Okay. That
Can't
seems
stop me.
Into darkness.
seems like something you don't want to happen. So we'll lose out on this Vault Breaker rummage value. It's okay. Let's just keep his board as empty as we can. I hope we clicked on the right fucking one here. Oh, does it and stacked onto the Puffcat pedal. Okay, we did good. Yeah, half a damage a turn. It's not bad.
Hello, sir.
Sure.
That technique.
He has to have a Twin Disciplines for this to go poorly. I mean, he could have a Deny or something, but I think this is successful a lot of the time. That'll activate our Voltician. Sure.
No way. Runaway bike.
Heimerdinger can we do? I'd rather.
Who wants a taste of progress?
And we have this giant ass unit that I want to play, so let's at least get the giant unit down. This should give us an opportunity to bank some spell mana, especially when one of these spells can draw cards, and then hopefully we can just chain off some big Heimerdinger plays next turn and get enough value to close this one out. I suspect he's going to have a tough time just beating this Voltician, but I think this with a flash, this is a much better outcome.
There's always a way out.
What seems to be the problem?
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
All right, we can do that. Oh, we don't have the mana to pull all this off.
And fire! Walk softly, strike quickly.
The 6 is so good. The 6 makes a that's where the elusive is, right? Fleur be gone. You're a 6 now. So kind of interesting. I don't think we want to just be discarding strong arm. I think we can do all this next turn. Probably doesn't matter a whole lot here, but here's our point of damage. Get a unit, play strong arm. This thing, I think we should be good here. We've taken a lot of puff cap damage this game, given how few puff caps he's put on the board. Where are we at? We're at 9, so if we... Oh, this would be at 11 of plays. Okay. Sure.
They grow up so fast. Psst, act natural. I gotcha.
You started without me.
All right, well, we just got to attack now, but I think we're okay. I mean, he's so low on life. Do we ever just maybe we do just rummage just to get the other unit on board?
Many ideas, not enough hands.
Oh, that's dangerous, wasn't it? Oh god, I forget. Sometimes I forget we're against these puff cap decks and just coming out here drawing cards and stuff.
The dead don't need riches.
All right, I think we're probably fine. If we get killed by Get Excited here, I'm not gonna be real stoked about it.
You call that sneaky?
Okay. Is that enough? We're doing 5. He's gaining 3. Gonna be 1 short. No, we're exactly so. Okay. Jeez. That felt like way closer than it ever should have. That was scary. Okay. I don't really want any of these. We're certainly not trading out our unlicensed innovation. I think we probably still need to hang on to our Voltician as well. Just don't have a whole lot of top end, and so like we are about to get to our 3rd Heimerdinger, which will fix itself for not having enough top end, but like we also don't have a lot of ways to activate this Sump Dredger. I mean, this is always this is an extremely good card, right? You can't get it stuck in our minds that this is only good when we're discarding puff caps. That's just not true. You're always upgrading the quality of cards in your hand whenever you play this, and so it's good all of the time. We just prefer to have things like puff caps or spinning axes or gems to be discarding, so that we're just getting a little bit more value out of these things. But I think we need to hang on to the Voltician. I'm kind of interested in trading out Crushbot for the Coral Creatures, which I think we probably should do. It's a pretty low quality unit. It feels like we're upgrading from like a 4.5 to a 4.6 here. These are definitely not big upgrades that we're making, but I think that should add up across the course of the run, right? These attune and plus spell mana cards are so good in this style of deck. Let us get on board and then still be able to drop all of our spells. It's like I'm trying to keep track in each of these games how close we are to getting to flipping this Ezreal, and the answer is nowhere near it. We're not close at all. I mean, I guess that's expected when you don't have any Make It Rains or the Freylord cards, but it's a tough world out there for Ezreal, even trying to get to 6. Isn't it, bud? Tough world for Ezreal. Right. Let's see. I don't really want to keep any of this. Slotbot is there's kind of an argument for, but he's just not that great anymore. All right, so that's more reasonable. Do we even want to add the butcher? I think I do kind of like it. It's going to be like turn 5 before we can try to get this guy down to do anything plundered, and so whatever. I think this is fine. We'll just add him. We're 100% just going to bank 2 spell mana here, even if we draw a card we can play, and then just be pushing forward with this Ezreal. Okay, if he wants to hook our guy, we're fine with that.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Okay.
The dead don't need riches. Don't let them through!
I've trained my whole life for this.
This is how we get our Ezreal flipped, right? Look at that. We already got the 1 tick on him. We could have shot this thing with Gotcha, but that feels like a bit of a waste. We'll get some bad unit to just throw in front of this at some point.
Blood, Demacian heart.
Right. Let's see if this is successful. Cool.
No remorse.
All right, now we just need time. We just need to bank some spell mana and drop this Heimerdinger, and then we should hopefully be good to go. The big worry here is he's going to play like Challenger Dragon this turn, but we can deal with that.
I'm in. Gotcha.
If he like plays Challenger Dragon and then opens on our Ezreal, that would be fantastic. Now that we're going to have the mana next turn to play Heimerdinger, and then flash, and then either salvage Gotcha. Pretty cool with all of that. Oh, Radiant. Okay. She's a little more annoying than a than a Challenger Dragon, but I think we can deal with this. Sure.
So, how do you get that kind of volume in your hair?
Electrical currents and aging safety equipment, my boy.
Headbutts. Uh-oh. That's a problem. But we can do some of this. We got some things we can do. We'll pick up progress too. We're gonna have enough. We can deal 2 damage to this with Gotcha. We can get 1 more in with an Ezreal. How many cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So playing this would drop us to 7. We'll draw 2, go up to 9. Okay, we can salvage. This is talk about this so much with Heimerdinger, right? You can't just play Heimerdinger and have him just die. You have to be able to play Heimerdinger and then play spells. And if your opponent's going to do something to interact with you from that point forward, then fine. But like, see, we got some value out of Heimer, and then he's just not completely gone at this point. And so it's a pretty big deal.
I don't miss.
Just put Battlesmith in front of our Rock Lobber, it's fine. I don't really want to be going like all in on this Radiant, but we'll see how things pan out here. We're getting pretty close to just killing him. Let's see how low he taps here. We got 4 from the double up to 6 with Mystic Shot. Is this Ezreal going to flip? No. No. What kind of question is that? Is Ezreal going to flip? Let's at least go ahead and get this thing out of here.
Charged!
Beaten down. Ask me about dragons, I just may have an answer. They fear tomorrow.
Okay, let's see if we can't do something tricky with the Voltician. We can just burst down Progress Day should we need to next turn. These are things I'd rather I'd rather have our Heimer back before we start trying to make plays like this. Ooh, he drops down to 1 mana. See if we flash into something good. True Shot Barrage. It's not exactly what we're looking for. Okay. And from this point, he may not be able to attack with the Radiant. I want to let him get into combat and see what he does.
Cavalry, to the field!
Not gonna be greedy. Fun. So we're gonna get an attack in with this guy big next turn. Don't quite want to progress stay. We put a 3 in front of this. It's gonna go up to 2 health, and then we can, like, if we do this. Oh, this thing still has tough. What if we do like this 3-2 and then 1 face? Does this get our Ezreal flipped? Yeah. Then we just have to take a 6 hit here if we want. Probably need to go ahead and block this. As long as we don't die, we're going to be in a pretty good spot here.
Speed things up a little?
So 3 on this one, 2 here, 1 here. That's going to get our Ezreal to flip.
Line them up.
My nose.
They don't know what they're up against.
And then all of our spells do target. Good chance we can just burn him out with what we have.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Okay. So if he doesn't interact with his Ezreal, we'll just kill him. Right, we'll just Mystic Shot him down. Sure.
Gotcha.
A noble end. A Demacian
Sure.
soldier is worth 10 foes.
Okay, this should probably do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's got cards. Sure. Alrighty, good game, friend. Just seeing that mana, dude, it makes me want to try Ezreal a little more in Expedition,
I
but
knew we had it all along.
it took a lot of work to get him flipped that game. I don't think this deck is capable of doing it. Okay, this looks like a pretty reasonable Heimer with a second beam in it. I'm not excited about the multiple Vault Breakers, but it's kind of a give and take with Heimer as far as Vault Breakers go. It wasn't as bad when your 3 was the elusive. Now that the 3 is the fearsome, it's a little bit different. These are much easier to block than the elusives. And just chaining off 4 Vault Breakers in a turn to make a 5/5/5 and a 3 attack elusive just isn't as good as it used to be when those just have fearsome. But nonetheless, we want our 3rd Heimerdinger. It's always good to note that his flip is Progress Day. Just such an incredibly good flip. And so the Heimerdinger is certainly not a champion that I would suggest trying to just do 2 copies of. All right, well, I mean, we did flip an Ezreal. There was that. And so, pretty cool. Much easier to do with 6 spells like that with nowhere near 10. And so it's at least interesting to see him relevant again in Expedition. 10 was just impossible. Okay. So cool. Let's hang on to these spell mana makers. No need to hard mulligan for removal. We are facing against the old Zed here. Pretty reasonable start. Okay, and I'm going to open here to try to get the 3/3. Just something to give us something that can interact with this Callista. And drawing Ezreal here was huge, right? Because we only want to spend 1 mana so we can get 2 spell mana banked up. Pretty cool. I guess it doesn't like wholly matter with that 2 spell mana over holding the apprentice, but seems good against the Ulf. I'd say he's just in the Fearsome's deck. He has Callista, but he's drafted a lot of Nocturne. I guess he has a lot of Callista. He has fucking 4 Callistas in his deck. I think that qualifies as a lot. if you're not familiar with the patch notes, Black Spear does 4 damage now. We lose a mana if we play this, right? So let's just go ahead and gotcha her. This still leaves us in a spot where we can Mystic Shot with our Ezreal next turn. Okay.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Gotta play his Wraithcaller. That's what this comes down to. Crumble. Okay. That was a very expensive Crumble. That's kind of, one of the things with Ezreal is that, it doesn't apply to all champions. I guess it applies to most of them, but, we're not really planning on doing a lot of stuff with Ezreal, but our opponent has to, pay him respect still. Sure. Seems like a fairly awkward draw from this guy.
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
Probably enough to keep him from attacking. And we might be able to get him with double up next turn. It feels kinda awkward. I'd rather him have a target we can actually kill with this thing. Alright, let's get him in. I fully suspect he's just going to put Callista in front of Voltician. And then I think we can just build up to a Heimerdinger turn. Oh god, he just takes it. I don't think you're in a spot to be making Callista plays, friend. You just got to be in don't die mode here. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to play Wraithcaller and try to 20 us next turn? Play Wraithcaller and 2 Risen Mists? That's the thing, I guess. Maybe we'll just close it out right here with double up. It'd be pretty cool. That's a way to do it right there. Let's see if we can't get him to tap out. Guess we should have added coral creatures. Sure.
Stealth Marines to the rescue!
Shelly, we're playing a different game.
That egg, did it move?
Oh, he's trying to flip his Callista, isn't he? Okay, well, let's go ahead and pop this off. I don't want to get to the spot to where he just passes back to us. So there's a few tricks that he can play here to get out of this, but it's really just they're all out of Targon. That'll do it. It's kind of painful. Kind of painful.
To all betrayers!
I think we're okay here still. We are at the magical 8 mana where we can make these Heimerdinger plays. We'll see what happens here. I mean, we're certainly going to have a full board to open with next turn. He's going to have a real hard time actually killing us from here. So if we can wear down some of his board, I think we're in a good spot. Sure. Can add the apprentice.
I'm on
We'll
it.
still have the 5 mana for Heimer plus the 3 for the flash. Sure.
The guilty will suffer.
Can't block any of this.
Professor, I've read all your manuscripts.
Oh my! What's the correct protocol here?
Double up number 2. That's how we're gonna get him.
And fire!
Okay. Can we? We don't even need to shake down, right? I don't think we do. I guess if he blocks our 3 bigs, that's 1, 2. We're only looking to deal 3 damage, 4 damage. Okay, so we're gonna need a little bit here. Let's try this again. Okay, that's a pretty good start. We're going to try to pop this Callista with this beam. So let's do this. I mean, do we even need to? Here, probably. We gotta at least get some of these units on board. So let's kill off 2 of our 2 smallest attackers. This thing and this thing. Oh, we just gotta kill 1, don't we?
Dimensions don't determine themselves.
Okay, I think this will get us in a good spot. Alrighty, good game, friend.
Calculated.
Calculated. I did the maths. I did it. I use my fingers for that still. Cool. Let's see. Don't need any more Flash of Brilliances. 4 is pretty good. Pretty cool with getting rid of Shady Character. He's just such a bad unit. Do we want the gotcha? I don't think so. I do kind of like having some of these like slot bot, whatever the 2/5 that we got rid of. I do like having like a non-zero number of these. I mean, we got 3 gotchas as well, which is plenty. So let's pick up the creatures, get rid of the Shady Character. Oof. Uh-oh. There's a set of champions. Draven's so good. Both these champions are so good in Expedition. It's weird seeing them paired up with Bilgewater. Alright, we're gonna be the aggro here. Get him with the coral creatures. Coral creatures aggro. Oh man, we could snap out a jury rig. Oh man, it's so much. Just draw the Draven answer as well. Pretty good at this game, boys. Pretty good.
I have the best job.
Okay. The Bilgewater Noxus doesn't have any way to get around this gotcha.
There's another one.
Let's just play this as efficiently as we can. Oh, picked up Rummage. We got this Rummage Jury Rig combo. God, we're good today. We are good today. Oh, pocket aces. I guess that's a way to get around it. It's not no way. Sure. And I think we want to make just like a big open here. So let's do this. Let's play the Shell Shocker to beam this Draven. And I mean, how does this pan out, right? We can Vault Breaker, Jury Rig, Rummage next turn. Is that good enough to do? Probably is. I know, but come on. This Rummage is good. We really just don't want either of these cards. We should probably at least try to win a combat with this Vault Breaker, though, right? Attacking for the 1 damage with Jury Rig's not a big deal, but hopefully we can get something out of this 2 damage before we just rummage it away.
I served for decades, and you call on me now.
Can't. That's okay.
This way!
I've embarrassed fools twice your size.
Okay. Here's the Heimer. Alright. It's going to take us a couple turns to get him online, but finding it's always super important. Gained Kato? Ugh. We have to do this now, otherwise we're gonna have to eat that overwhelm hit. Oh. Thanks for the headbutts, bud.
So this is it. Punch it! Ha-ha!
And we have the second gotcha, so this should be fine. Okay. Don't chew on my cords. But you need pets that bad? Gonna have to call the runoff. Give my kitty some pets. The sheriff. Not a bad set of epics there, Greyfeld. I wonder what that feels like to just have a giant pile of epics in your deck. Here's how we get ours, though, right? We got Eminent Benefactor. That's the best way to get the epics. He's gonna hit, isn't he? Oh god. I don't think we can eat all this. We're gonna be pretty light on this Heimer. We're gonna have to find a flash of brilliance for him.
Ride for Noxus!
Get hooked here.
Run away!
Dude, can we just go ahead and add this? Maybe we can, because it's just the most expensive card that we have. Shouldn't have any way to interact with this, at least at this point. Well, that's not good. Not good.
Innovation.
Sure.
Found one!
Not quite what we were looking for.
Don't underestimate me.
Okay. It's a spell. Summon a random 1-cost follower. Alright, we're not going to play enough 3s to make this worthwhile. Let's go ahead and get this value.
Unexceptional advancement in ballistics.
Alright, so, we're at least not just dead. He could come real close to just killing us with these 2 spinning axes and just discarding stuff. But it's not great to see. Not great to see him have this gigantic ass pile of cards in his hand either.
My axe
okay.
is ready.
Right, we can call it there. That was just an awkward game. Just didn't draw anything of note. I'm not expecting things to go super well with our 3 coral creatures draw against a dude dropping 2 epics on us. So that's okay. All right. What can you actually hit? Zap. You can hit Mystic Shot, Flash of Brilliance, Pocket Aces as the bad one. Vault Breakers. So you're like coin flipping on bad cards. I think I'd rather just have the raw power of picking up epics. I think we're good though to get rid of the Apprentice for another beam. We have the 3 coral creatures and then either 1 or 2 of the 1-drop, and so we have our early game stuff we can put down and recoup some of the mana. And then we only have the 1 unlicensed innovation as well, and so it's not like we're making that play with any frequency. Okay. Kind of tempted to get rid of Slotbot. Maybe he's good enough to keep. What was this again? A pile of units. Don't want the Pocket Aces even though he's going to have Draven Elise. Okay.
Louise! To me!
Okay, this is most certainly an open, especially when we draw the Jagged Butcher again. He's been making his appearances on turn 2. Uh-oh, Vile Feast. Sure.
So pretty.
Oh yeah, Jettison. Actual do nothing. Alright. Alright. I guess I shouldn't say do nothing. It can generate a 1/1 unit with our Heimerdinger. Maybe we pick up another rummage. Let's see if this is successful. I think we probably, even amidst that all that dude's epics in the previous game, if our gotcha onto Draven had been successful, I think we would have probably won that, and we would have had a beam for his next unit. It would have been in a pretty good spot.
Come on!
We weren't expecting. You started without me. Who's ready to wreck?
Okay. We're good. We're ready to pop off this Heimerdinger next turn. I think we're in a real good spot here now. Do you have any way to make a challenger? We could probably just wait a turn on this, right? Let's do. Because we have to block 3 things, right? He's making this. He's gonna make a fully wide Battlecaster attack this turn. I mean, we could technically just beam this Battlecaster, but that doesn't feel necessary. Our health is still just so high. Let's do this. Let's play Voltician. He's not going to be super good this game against this go wide deck. Attacking with the 8 attack quick attack is just not a huge deal. And so at least adding this to the board, we should be able to put Butcher in front of Battlecaster, this thing in front of like random 2 attack guy. Ooh, that's kind of bad. I think we have to beam now. Do we have to? How does this go? We put this here. This goes here. Take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, we're not. We're going to do that. It's been decided we're not doing that.
Say your farewell.
This isn't so bad now. Just taking 5. If he wants to throw away a card to drop this spinning axe on our 3/3, then more power to you. He discards. If he's spinning X as a vision, that's going to be a problem. What's that? Discards Take Heart.
No! They stood in my way.
Oh, we're even getting the Diabolic Edict here. If this gets any card out of this, I'm pretty happy. If he wants to spend a combat trick to win that, that's absolutely great.
I've gathered, now I give.
Okay, we might be able to safely play a Heimer now. It doesn't feel nearly as bad when they don't have Arena Battlecaster on the board. So how does this go if we have a block 3? If we're going to block 2, his big 2, we're only going to take 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay with that.
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle.
See me right out!
Show some respect.
Auto 10. Okay. Okay. This all seems reasonable. This jettison could be extremely relevant. This is not a bad spot to be adding 1/1s to. Oh man, we hit the Jagged Taskmaster for our 1/1 off the jettison. Nice. Oh shit.
And fire!
Okay. Get these shits out of here. It doesn't need to be here anymore. Take heart number 2. Oh man. Okay. That's alright.
Unbreakable as thermodynamics.
We're gonna add this. Let's add this thing. This Tusk Raider does worry me a bit. Not anymore. So, this is better lucky than good. Can we just kill him this turn? If we say you've been warned here, beam this, he's gonna have 1 blocker. Hook here, he blocks 8. Take 7, 10, 11. No, we're gonna be short. Let's take this. We'll give him the opportunity to sacrifice the sentry. I don't really want to play a thermogenic beam right now.
Just when I needed assistance.
Testing!
Quickly!
This is fine. If he wants to put his thing here, it's okay. Just getting in for 2 damage. Yeah, he's got big plans for this Arachnoid Sentry. We do have the double up. Like, if his card is Might, that's the scary thing that he could be doing, right? Let's just take that away from him. This could be wrong. Like, he's not playing like Darius, but you know, something big like Darius is what scares us here, where we'd want to be a little greedier and try to get the double up onto that unit. But
It's smaller than a diagram.
the thing that worries me more, and the reason I went ahead and did that, is if he has Might and then he draws some stupid Freylord card, like he draws like Fury of the North, right? And then there's just nothing we can do about that combat. So I just think it's much more likely for him to draw a relevant health boosting card that makes our whatever 2 damage, double damage, whatever thing it's called, fail, than it is for him to just draw some gigantic dude that we have no answer for. Okay, what do we got here? I'm not super interested in Jal Hunters. Don't need more Flash of Brilliances. The Wave Riders are fine, but it's not our top end that's ever the problem in these games. It's our early game. So I think I'd rather have Sump Dredgers here than the Wave Rider. I think we're good to just go ahead and skip all these. Don't need 5. Keep our early game. Keep our early game. Yeah, it sounds good to me. Right. Boisterous Port City. Very similar to New Orleans is Bilgewater. Nowhere near as good of a name as Booty Bay. Oh man, against Trevor's mom. Everything's going right at the beginning of this game. Oh shit. If y'all aren't having fun playing, you gotta find something else to do. Take life a little easier. Yeah, cool. We were just looking for something to do in the early game. None of that stuff there was early game things to do. Yeah, I guess we do have things to just discard to Sump Dredger when we pull up jettisons with our coral creatures. Sure.
Spilled paint
Whenever I
is
hear
just
Trevor, if
accidental
anyone's
art.
familiar with the Trailer Park Boys, I feel like
Like
I
this.
dropped a Trevor Get Me Some Smokes reference the other day. It's like fucking 40 seasons of that show. It's pretty solid up to about 75% of the way through. Once you get to the when you get to like seasons 15 in there, then it starts to fall off quick. But it's good stuff. Got all the combos here. Playing discard aggro this game. Just him, right? We don't have any answer to the elusive. Don't have an answer to the elusive. Who's that kidding? Oh shit. Let's see if he's got the answers. Got the +2 health. Just nope. Alright. Things are really churning. Probably just have to attack here. It's too easy for him to just add a real unit to the board.
Oh, you're interesting.
Okay.
Ow, 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 ow.
I will open a path
Sure.
to the heavens.
So pretty.
Get this mana set up perfectly. And a rummage? Nice. Okay. Need some spells. We can't quite churn off this Heimerdinger just yet, but I mean we're getting close. We can look to play him this turn, attack with all of our shitty units next turn, and get like 3 Vault Breakers in. That seems fairly reasonable.
Welcome to my humble estate.
I don't know. Maybe we should have. Maybe we shouldn't have. It's one of these things where, like, I kind of feel like, you know, if we're going to be doing this Vault Breaker play, we want to be churning off like 3 or 4 of them. I guess we could have done 3 next turn, but it feels like that was just like a turn too soon.
I cannot shepherd,
Soraka, sure.
so I must inspire. I will shepherd for you, Star Child.
Punish transgressions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really not liking not adding this Heimer now. But maybe this will pan out.
Seems to be the problem.
He shouldn't be able to remove it here. We're not real intent on attacking this turn. I think this is okay. a little on the scarier side. It's not, I don't think it's a huge deal. Get these big elusive attacks next round.
Too many ideas, not enough hands. Just when I needed assistance.
See if he adds any mana. I wonder if there's a world where he ever lets us try to take down this Soraka.
Requires concentration.
That feels a little dangerous. Everybody's got a... Where's our epic at? We sort of got epics. We just draw all our Heimerdingers. This isn't like the scariest. I mean, he's going to hit us for 4 damage with these things, +2, we'll take it up to 6 with the Mentor. That's fine. I have to start getting T-hexes out of this stuff. Oh. Oh, I can't answer the bursts, but I mean, this doesn't seem ultra scary.
For no one.
Let's see what the plan is here. Eclipse Dragon, sure. We have to just block this thing.
They fear tomorrow, the fools.
Whee! No.
Back to the sky. Live with purpose.
Actually, let's do this. Let's get this Benefactor out of here. We're never going to get any value out of this thing, or like any trade value. We're about to flood the board with Heimer units. Let's get rid of it. Now we're in the slightly better spot here as well, where we can progress day and then play a bunch of 3-cost spells, if that's the thing that we want to pursue. Does this get us if we make a 6 and a 6? 6, then we'd have room for 1 Vault Breaker. Oh, we'd have room for 2, right? 8, no, we needed 12 mana for that. I think like his units are weakened now. I do kind of worry about getting killed by elusives here. Not sure which of these is better. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, fall to 6. We can still progress stay plus Heimer. It's going to activate this guy. I think we want the big boy.
Behold.
Okay, I feel better about that. Sure. We're gonna get to take down this dragon in combat. I mean, it's not that like great. My worry here is that you know, we make an attack, his units survive, and then he's able to protect himself with like some kind of card in hand, and then give one of these big dudes elusive. Shouldn't be able to do that here. Let's go ahead and just kill this thing. We're never getting a better pocket aces than this one. Something cool? No. Never something cool. Alright. Seems reasonable. Maybe we shouldn't have played these. We do kind of want these. Like, we can't just put Unlicensed Innovation on the board. Maybe adding these two is a mistake, now that I think about it a little more. See, it presents a problem in spots like this.
You dream it, I'll build it.
Gear's not just for building.
Okay, let's go ahead and spend. Oh, we need this mana next turn. If we Vault Breaker now, then we lose the ability to hit next turn. He's just gonna block everything next turn anyways, though. Okay.
And fire! Advancing collective knowledge!
Okay. Oh no, this seems reasonable now. I still do worry about this just getting killed by a Stargazer, but as long as that doesn't happen, we should be okay. All we can really do here is just, I think we can just attack with Voltician T-Hex. That the beam changes things. We can just beam the Stargazer out now. Just don't think we want to. We can do +8 damage with Vault Breaker. Say we attack with everything. He blocks our bigs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get him for 2 + 8. That's kind of close. I don't really like it.
They stood in my way.
This way!
Okay, well, let's try this Vault Breaker line. We can still, if we just lose all of our units, so it's okay as long as we have a way to kill this Stargazer. And there's a reasonable chance that we just end the game as well. Have to see if he starts trying to drop harsh winds and stuff on us. Okay. We could still beat that via another Vault Breaker. And then ultimately when it comes down to it, if he has like another Guiding Light, we can stop it again. And then I was going to say, if we can get him low enough, then we can just Mystic Shot. Whew. Sorry, sorry I lose some of my commentary in there. I don't play a lot of control decks, and these things it's kind of taxing on the brain power when you have a set amount of time each turn. I try my best, boys. Sometimes it's not good enough, but I do try. Nonetheless, into these trades going into the final battle. Not trading out innovation ever. I don't really want any more coral creatures. These things are fine, but I do like having the bit of variety in here. And then we don't want Karina. She is reasonable in this kind of deck. I'm just not a huge Karina fan. So we'll skip. Okay, the pocket aces for Mystic Shot. That's pretty easy. I think I do want to hang on to the 1 double up. It's just, you know, it's our one of our few spells that can activate the Voltician. It's like, yes, we can play Flash of Brilliance and then use that spell to activate, but this is a good way to close out games. I'm typically pretty happy with this. And then the 6-cost spell is a pretty good spot, and then it makes the elusive. And so I'm happy to hang on to it. This isn't really a box to push deck. We can skip over that. We have enough spell interaction to not need that kind of card. Oh man, and seeing the progress day, I think we need to skip that one. Let's trade out the Vault Breaker for the Hired Gun. It's just another great piece of early game interaction, and I only want 1 Vault Breaker. I want 0 Vault Breakers, and here's our chance to make that happen. Let's go ahead and get another Mystic Shot. Heimer for Fizz? What kind of trade is that? No thank you. Oh, well, I am cool to go up to 4 beams, though. Alright, let's get into battle. Okay. certainly strong enough to take it to the final battle. This is a pretty reasonable looking Heimerdinger deck. We did pass on a progress day, which is fine. That's kind of one of the things that, you know, you get in a lot of spots where you just have to have that like one piece of top end where it's like a progress day or a true shot barrage. But I think we're okay. We certainly have the tools here to take this one the whole way. Just gonna see how long we gotta wait. Get a rest in. See if we play the old Poro bot. Oh my god. Play against the take a nap bot. Oh man, I don't know if it's at 90 seconds or if it's at 2 minutes when they just plug you in against the bot. Oh man, I feel like it's going to be a bot game. I don't know if I should ever cancel these and wait for the human or just go for it. It feels unsatisfying playing against AI, but their decks are always extremely good. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Now, I saw a Reddit thread the other day. If it was just kind of like if you know, is there a lot of variance in the skill that you end up playing against? And I think for the most part, you know, we don't see a lot of just gigantic like blatant misplays throughout our games. I think the matchmaking works pretty good, but it does seem like though in the final battle, when these timers get up pretty big, that there does tend to be some variance. I don't know if like, you know, if it gets up to 90 seconds or something, and then it just pairs you against anyone with a 7. Not real sure how that works, but we're up against the Poro bot this time. What was this? Yasuo disruption. Okay. We will be playing the hired gun here. I don't really like him having these unblockable units on board, and it's pretty reasonable to suspect this will get in 6-8 damage if we don't immediately deal with it.
You point, I shoot.
Okay. Sure. Don't feel like this is a unit that like we want to hit with gotcha, but it's kind of scary if we're just going to start letting this in. Like we do like the, you know, gotcha can pop a Yasuo, but I don't think we have to worry about it in that sense. Like we have 2 more gotchas and we have 4 thermogenic beams. I don't think sitting around worrying about Yasuo showing up is a strategy we need to partake in here. Okay.
Time to make
And then,
coin.
as it stands, I would kind of like to just pass here, but
I go where the road takes me.
I don't think. Oh, he has 4 health now, doesn't he? So I don't think we need to just be digging for the beam, but we can't really just run this Heimerdinger out either. So maybe we do just salvage. He's pretty far away. He's only stunned once. We can just block this next turn. Let's do this. Let's add our unit. We'll discard Static Shock. It seems like we're not going to find a good one. And then just dig a little bit. At least have a little bit of board presence here.
Ready!
Okay.
Sharpen the blade,
Sure.
secure the kill.
Glad to see this come down now as opposed to when we're trying to hit it with a when we're trying to get our Heimerdinger down. Let's just prevent this.
Not my
This should be
first
one of these
gunfight.
matches to where as long as we don't die, we should be okay. And we don't want our health to be falling too low when he's playing Darius. I don't know what the makeup of this deck is particularly. I would assume they're playing 3 Yasuo, 1 Darius, but I really want to just run into him. Sub 10 health.
Come on, give it a try.
We can get real units that can kill Yasuo here.
Entropy, a never-ending cycle.
Battering ram.
A machine for sports ball.
Searching for suck winners.
I alone decide my fate.
Okay.
Clear my name.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, we can deal with this thing with Mystic Shot. This is certainly blocking here. So I think we're good to add core creatures in.
Found one.
Keep trying.
It's smaller than
Okay,
a
and I
diagram.
think we want to go ahead and gotcha this thing. We're going to try to pop it with Even Warn next turn. Seems reasonable. Then, I mean, we do have the option to just progress stay, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing here. We can try to save this progress stay for his turn. Now that his board is, now that he's not in a spot to where he should just be opening up on a lot of these boards, I think we should be good to just progress stay next turn.
Trinitum? Quadranium power cells?
This ain't Hextech, Fuzzman.
Okay. Huh. We probably don't even need to even warn here. This is fine. We'll go ahead and play it. I don't really want to be taking the damage from this thing, but we still get to draw the card if this dies in combat. So I think it's okay to go ahead and put it out there. This prevents the most damage outside of spending a Heimerdinger. Okay.
Requires just 1.21 gigahexes.
One shot.
All right, so if we can fade Darius, I think we're okay. And then I think our saving grace even against Darius is we can put a T-Hex in front of him. So let's get this Ezreal in. We're going to Mystic Shot this thing down.
That's gotta hurt.
Then I think we might be okay. Like, if we pop off this progress day, I think we're in a fantastic spot. And this is kind of what I'm talking about why I was okay with stalling this off until his turn. He's right, he's not going to be able to open on us. He doesn't have a board. So we're guaranteed to get the opportunity to drop this progress day.
Sturdy construction, advancing collective
Alright, I think we're okay.
It shall rain ash in our wake.
And we're deep. Deep, boys. Okay,
Rise, my creation!
sure. I'm gonna bank again.
The craven will
Oh, he's
fall.
attacking? Okay. Don't have to worry about a might. Only got 2 mana. Alrighty, I think we're good. I think we're gonna take down the poor bot in the final battle here. Is there a reasonable way to do this? I guess it's okay to miss out. You get to gain a mana when it looks like that. What I was kind of looking at there.
A sturdy construction. Yeah.
Witness true strength. I'll handle this myself.
Don't have a real good way to deal with this. I mean, we can True Shot Barrage, Mystic Shot, and then get a Mystic Shot from Ezreal. I think we're okay with that. Let's just attack with everything here.
Wait.
Okay.
This won't be a fair fight.
Okay. All right, I do believe we're good now. Let's True Shot Barrage. 3 and 2. It's gonna flip our Ezreal. These are gonna start doing 4 damage apiece.
I'm so good, I surprised myself.
Unbreakable as thermodynamics.
You don't have any more cards to play, friend. I think we're good. I think we're good.
It's smaller than a diagram.
Okay. What you got for us, Poropod? I don't think he can come back in this one. The game keeps pausing. I keep expecting him to be playing a puff caps or something. It seems like the cards come up and just stop. Okay, let's pass and open. Oh.
The world waits, begging for dominion. With me!
Alrighty, he's out of cards, so we're good. We're good to go. We're going to take down the final battle. Well, you did it, Ezreal. You got upgraded. You got flipped. What more could you ask for out of your patch 1.14 debut? So cool, yeah. Nice little 7 winner.
Calculated.
Nice little 7 winner. Wasn't really taking advantage of Ezreal. It was more of a well, not more of a. It was a Heimerdinger build around, and a pretty standard one at that. But we can still pull it up and talk about it. So let's get this over here. The old LOR Guardian, if you're not used to it, they recently just updated the layout and looks pretty neat. Looks good. Gotta say these guys are always around making updates. Can't say that about all of the tracker makers, and so they at least get my props for that. I haven't actually bitched about LOR Guardian in a while. So gotta find something new to complain about, I guess. But no, nonetheless, the idea with this run is we were going to try to build around Ezreal. It's still his old picture here. He flips at 6 now. You can check the patch notes if you're wanting to see his new abilities. Basically, flips on 6 targets. When you play a spell, if the spell targets, he does 2 to the face. If it does not target, it does 1 to the face. And so I think this is really going to be picking up in Expedition. This seems we didn't have a deck crafted to really flip Ezreal, and I think we did it in at least 2 games, maybe in 3. We're extremely close in a couple of them. And so it's certainly doable if you have the cards to point towards it. And so we took the Ezreal, jumped into Bilgewater, because, the idea here is make it rain, targets multiple units, makes Ezreal easy to flip. Bilgewater has a bunch of ways to target between Frostbite Archer, Avarosian Marksman, all the Brittle Steels and Frostbite cards, Harsh Winds are getting 2 targets, and you're using all of those cards to get your Ezreal flipped. It's pretty tough to get, enough thermogenic beams and mystic shots to do it, but once you start adding in, make it rains for multiple targets or the units that target, it gets a lot easier to flip him. I'm interested in trying Ezreal again once he pops up again. But that's how this run went initially. We're planning on drafting Ezreal. If you're wanting those themes to work, you have to be in Bilgewater or Freylord. We did see Bilgewater in Pack 2, but it wasn't very enticing, so we just took the Heimer. We did find Bilgewater in Pack 3, so that gave us the option to actually build towards Ezreal should it show up. It did not, and so we just ended up in this more standard Heimerdinger build around, which is what I was going to take a moment to talk about here. And so, this pairing does work reasonably well with Heimerdinger, since Shellshocker and Coral Creatures are both pretty good at just stalling the game early and giving you spell mana at the same time. but it's not ultra important. The big things you're going to have with this Heimerdinger deck are you want to find 3 or 4 Flash of Brilliances, and then you want to find basically every single removal spell that you can. The important one being Thermogenic Beam followed by Mystic Shot. If you find Get Excited, great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. The expensive ones like Static Shock aren't super important to take. You'll end up getting more gotchas because they just seem more common than Mystic Shot, but don't stack up on gotcha. If you get 2 or 3 gotchas, that's fine. If you get 2 or 3 Mystic Shots, that's fine. If you get 7 or 8 Mystic Shots, that's fine. If you get 7 or 8 gotchas, that's just way too much. The gotcha really falls off in quality as the game progresses. This is an important one to pick up, but you really kind of want to stop around 2 or 3. After that, kind of theme number 2, we didn't see a whole lot of it here, but the way you typically control the early game is with unlicensed innovation. You're able to play your Shell Shockers and your Eager Apprentices, so you get a unit on board, but without really costing mana, and then play the innovation on 3. We only got to pull that off once this run, but that's kind of the best early game that PNC can pull off. Then at the later stages of the game, making a 5/5 for 6 and getting a 6/1 elusive is a pretty good deal. And so beyond that, just be mindful of your curve. As you can see in some of these games, it gets pretty easy to get into the late game. You're trying to chain off a whole bunch of spells with Heimerdinger, and you just don't really have time to be playing these expensive cards. We ended up with 1 Wave Rider and 1 Voltician as our top end, and that was more than enough. We were extremely happy with how this top end package worked out. It's just much more important to focus on the early game defensive units to get you to the late game. Arguably, Invokes have a better late game than Heimerdinger, but in the past, Heimerdinger was kind of the ultimate late game. You can't outvalue a Heimerdinger. Invoke can to a degree, but this is kind of as good as it gets. And so the saying goes with a lot of these games is as long as you don't lose, you should win, and that's what we're looking at with a lot of this deck here. Is where it has a big old pile of 1 and 2s, 2-drops. Especially if we're considering Mystic Shot as in the 2-drop scene, just shutting down the early game, buying us time to get off our Heimerdinger. And then the last thing I'll call out before we move to the rewards is, when you're building around Heimer, we did it ultra successfully this run, is you can't just play him. If it comes down to it and you're falling behind on board and you're losing the game, sometimes you just have to roll the dice, throw him out there and hope he survives. Fine. But 9 times out of 10, you really want to be playing Heimerdinger and then chaining off a couple of Flash of Brilliances and maybe following up with a 3rd spell. So even if your opponent does take out your Heimerdinger, you still get some value out of it. You could see that very, very clearly in that Radiant Guardian game this run, where the guy detained our Heimerdinger with Radiant Guardian. We were able to play 2 Flash of Brilliances followed up with, I think, a Salvage, and then it just wasn't a huge deal. We got our value out of the Heimer. Our opponent had to still be ultra careful with his Radiant to make sure that we didn't get the Heimer back, and we were able to, pretty smoothly take the game from that point forward. And so that's one of the real key strategies with Heimer, even outside of just the deck building and everything, is to make sure that when you put him on board, you're able to chain off a stack of burst speed spells. We were able to do that almost every single game. Maybe 1 or 2 games we played Heimer, we weren't able to do that. But that's going to do it for this run. I believe we have some rewards here. The KDA event's still going on. Let's see what we've pulled out with these. Been playing a big chunk of Constructed, and so pulling up all the KDA hearts. We got to get to the end of the rewards. I don't think I actually made it to the end of the reward road in the previous event. Hey, I guess we are going to get there because we're essentially there right now. Last one. All you rewards lovers are going to be out of material here soon. Cool, we got the sun. Hey, look at that! And now I can tell who these people actually are. I was complaining earlier that I could tell that this one was Ari, but then I couldn't tell who the rest of these people were. Granted, I've never heard of Seraphine. I think I've recognized Kesa from Teamfight Tactics, and so for my days of League, it was just Ari, Akali, and Evelyn. But I could definitely not pick out Akali and Evelyn based on the KDA style pictures. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for this run. Hope you all had a good time watching and learned a little something along the way. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.